This is the bathroom that I filmed my first video in when I decided to start losing weight this time around in January. We remodeled it, so I think it looks much nicer. I don't remember exactly what stage we were in when I made the other one, but we had these like nasty oak, well, the door is still the same. So you can see that like oak trim stuff. I'm working on getting another door, but this one here was a pain in the butt, and it also won't close or latch because we did it wrong. So not too excited to work on the next door because I'm going to be real with you, like it almost ended our marriage. We were fighting pretty hardcore. So anyway, that's that. I just wanted to make an update video because it's been a while since I've made one, and I've kind of gone up and down, and so for a while I didn't want to post just because, or upload, whatever it's called. I didn't want to because I wasn't in a really good spot. I was doing kind of badly, and so I was like, I don't want to let these people down. But I've had so many people make comments about how real I am and how I just, say how I feel and all that kind of stuff. So if I'm going to be real, I'm going to be real. So I'm trying to think of even what the last thing was I talked to you guys about. I was getting ready to do a Down syndrome race, I think, for my daughter. And we've done it every year. And my goal was to be at about 32 minutes. And I actually finished the race at exactly 32. My husband, who hadn't ran for like 2 years, finished it in like a stupid time, like 24 or something. And the other people that were with us, one was a 70-something-year-old man that went to support us, and he finished it before everybody else in the race. I'm not shocked because he's very serious about his running, but it did make all of us young people look really stupid. And then another man finished right after Brandon. So I wasn't going to compete with them, though I knew I wasn't going to make their time. They're also much taller than me, and so, my little footsteps are it takes much more to effort, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, my point is I met my goal, and I was excited about that. So the race was great. I'll add some pictures. My kids got to do the little fun run, and everything was great, and they loved it. They got really cool new medals. I'll go get mine. Hold on. I keep them over my mirror so that I can be reminded of them. So this was the Down syndrome one. It's really heavy, so my 6-year-old was basically falling over when she had hers on. We all got the same exact kind. It's really nice. The other years they just had like a generic one that they plastered a little sticker on that said Down syndrome race and whatnot. Anyways, so after that, like I was riding pretty high. I was doing really good. I was down to like 148 pounds, and I stayed between that and like 150 with, I'll say, minimal effort. I stopped logging my calories because I know I've done it for so long that I can basically eyeball it. Like I don't tell everybody like to do that, but if you have done it for a while and I eat like the same couple things over and over again. I've said it before in other videos, so I know what combination of things make up the amount of calories I need in a day. So I kind of took a break on that. I also stopped running again. Like I did a little bit, but I'm going to be real with you. It's like been 80 something degrees outside. I'm hearing noises. It's been really hot. And my kids got out of school right after the Down syndrome race. That was May 17th. They got out May 22nd. So I don't have a babysitter, and I can't leave them here while I run outside, and I don't like running on the treadmill. So I let all these stupid excuses get in my way, and I slowed down a lot on the running. So what I did was talk to my sister-in-law, who is a lot of fun, and convinced her to join a race with me, and we did the, I think it was called the Great Inflatable Race. And it's a traveling race, a lot like those color runs and stuff. It's supposed to have like 18 bouncy houses and obstacle courses, and you're supposed to run those inside of the 5K. We were really excited about that, but let me tell you, that day was rough because we had to drive, people aren't going to be watching this probably from Ohio, but anyway, we drove a really far distance, and then when I got there, my husband texted me because he was going to go, this was Father's Day weekend, he was going to go to West Virginia and hang out with his dad and our son for a Father's Day like outing thing where they go eat these crazy hot dogs. And so he called me like 5 minutes before he was supposed to leave because I took his car and I forgot to leave my keys. So I had both sets of keys for all the vehicles in the house with me. So that was pleasant. Hold on. Sorry about that. I'm trying to cook. And it's literally just one of those box things that you, like it's barbecued chicken or pork or something, and I peeled it off and put it in the oven. and now my house smells like fire. So my kids were trying to alert me, but it's fine. I just have a crusty oven, and burnt pieces of other stuff are burning more. So my house smells horrible right now. So that's what that was. Sorry about that. I just was alarmed and needed to address the situation. Okay, so I took both sets of keys. We got there. We parked really far away because we didn't know this area, and we saw that there was very limited parking, and we didn't know if there would be parking at the race. So first we went on to a police station property and didn't realize that's what it was until we saw these signs that talked about, like, if you go beyond this point, they're gonna like arrest you and stuff. So we had to turn on around. So then I found a place to parallel park, and we started walking, and we found like 2 or 3 people, and we're like, hey, how far is the race? And like 3 different people said it's a journey, which I thought was really weird wording for 3 different people to use. Why didn't they just say like, oh, it's a little bit of a walk or whatever? They all said it's quite a journey. So we were a little bit alarmed about that. We thought we were going to miss it. So we walk all the way and find it and realize there's parking available, whatever. But we parked for free, so we're like, whatever. So we went and got in line and waited forever. There were 3 heats, and they were like 30 minutes behind. So we had plenty of time. We got our shirts. My sister-in-law bought us tutus. And then we decided we were going to run this stuff back to the car. So we ran back to the car, which ended up being like, it might have been between half a mile and 3/4 of a mile. It was something like that. So we ran it back. We actually got the car and then drove back, paid for parking, stayed there. So we got a little bit of our running in, and then we were real excited. We got up to the thing to go on the first one, which was just like a really tall thing. I also discovered boomerang that day because I'm old and I didn't know how people were doing this witchcraft, and she showed it to me, and so we made like 1,000 boomerang videos going up and down slides and stuff and whatever. It was fun. So the only thing that kind of sucked about it was, I guarantee, I didn't wear my watch or anything, but I guarantee that race was not a 5K. It felt like 1.5 miles, maybe at best. And I talked to a bunch of other ladies around me and yelled like, hey, does anybody have a watch on that tells you how far you've went? This was not 3 miles, and they all agreed and said, yeah, my thing says like 1.7 or 1.5 or whatever. So it was a sham and it was a lie, and there was not 18 bounce houses, there was like 10. So it was fun. I had fun with my sister-in-law, but I'm glad I didn't take it too seriously, or I would have been mad because it definitely didn't give me my money's worth. So if the Great Inflatable Race comes to you, don't do it. But this was the thing they gave us. Bounce Champ. There are videos, but I don't know how to save them, of me struggling at the end. There was this thing where you had to leap over like a giant log thing that I wasn't tall enough to clear it, and there was nothing to grip onto, so I kind of waited for this other girl to come, and we both jumped on it and then both flopped over it at the same time, head first, and whatever. So that was fun, and my sister-in-law videoed that, and so that's memories to cherish forever. But anyway, it was a fun day. That was on June 15th. It is now June 25th, I think. Close to that. It's within that week. Anyways, so I also did something else. I went to Niagara Falls. While my kids went to junior camp with our church, I decided to take my husband and I decided to take our youngest to Niagara Falls, which she completely did not care about it. Her favorite thing was the snacks in the bathtub, but we enjoyed it. We went on the Hornblower, which is the Canada Sides version of the Maid of the Mist, and we did a lot of cool stuff. We did a lot of walking. I am really bummed out though, because like I said, after my race, I did not get back on track with my running, and I could tell because when I got back home from Canada, I weighed myself and I was up 7 pounds. So I was 156.7, which was really devastating to me. But part of that is that when I travel, I get really bloated. I don't know why sitting in the car does that to me, but I could just really tell like that in my stomach I was really bloated and stuff. So I'm down 2 pounds already just from that ordeal, but a lot of it also was that I was snacking and eating some not choice foods. They were delicious foods, let me tell you, but they weren't helping me lose weight. So that was bad. So that's where I'm at today. I haven't ran very much. I have 24 miles left to run in June, if I can do it, to be at 200 miles for 6 months, which is what my goal was this year, and then I'll do 200 more in the next 6 months, which would put me at 400 miles for the year, which is 50 more miles than last year, which at this point is my only goal. I also would like to do a half marathon, but I just haven't convinced myself to do that yet. I'm afraid I'm going to spend the money and not train, and then I'm going to be very mad at myself. So maybe somebody can talk me into it. That would be delightful, because I would really like to do it. Somebody wants to go with me, because my husband's not about to do it with me. He doesn't like running. So I've also had some people ask me some specific type of questions. So I thought I would answer a little bit of those, even though like I'm not on my motivational high right now and the best I've ever been. Like, I'm getting back on track. I've actually logged my calories the last 2 days, and I'm keeping track and watching what I eat and trying to get back on track. You know what's really crazy is that it takes so little of time for your brain to completely rewire and think about food completely differently. I'm not joking when I say yesterday, I was in my car. I clean houses, and so after I cleaned a house, all I could think about was food. I just thought of all the foods that I wanted to eat, and I needed to go to the grocery store, and everything that I picked up and put in my cart, I just like wanted to tear open and eat in the store like a rabid animal. I don't normally, when I'm being good and I'm watching what I eat, those feelings don't overwhelm me. But I seriously was thinking about it in terms of like, I've never done hard drugs or anything, so I don't know what they do to a person, but surely not everybody feels the same way that I do about food, because it's not healthy. Like, when I think about the cravings are just so overwhelming, like I feel in that moment like I am willing to do anything to get that food. And that's why I had such a bad problem with binging before, is because it was never about like, oh, feed your body so that you can live and have energy. It was, you need to taste all the things. And so I would eat nachos and cookies, and not just like 3 cookies, like a whole whole pan of cookies. And I binge. And so like that's a lot of what I did in Canada. And even before that, if I wanted to eat something, I couldn't eat just a little bit of it like I had been doing. I had to eat like a ridiculous amount, like bigger than my husband's amount or whatever. So I don't know if anybody else feels that way about food, but it seriously does feel like such an addiction to me, because I don't think of it in terms of nutrition. My brain is just like needs that feeling of like endorphins that you get from tasting like this phenomenal bite of food, and you need more. So it's insane to me. But I do find that when I pull back on the reins and I control myself and I really get my life together, that it's way easier. And so I need to make sure that I don't let myself even get to that place. I'm sure that it started gradually. I remember like 2 weeks ago, this is so stupid, I bought sour gummy bears. They were covered in sugar or whatever. And I ate like mostly the whole container or whatever. My kids got some. And I remember thinking then like, this isn't a good choice, but I'll be okay. And I think that it started there. And then I was like, well, this tastes good, so that's why I'm going to eat it. But there are other foods there are foods that when I'm doing good, I will look at it and be like, there's no way I'm wasting calories on this, because it's not worth it. It's just, even though it tastes good, it's not going to give me what I need calorie-wise to get through the day or whatever. I don't know. It's seriously, there's such a mental war going on when it comes to food for me. So I'm either in a totally binge psychotic state, or I'm completely fine and I can control myself. There is no like in between, which is what I need to work on trying to find. And if anybody else has any tips out there for me, even though most of the people that watch this want tips from me, then let me know, because hey, we can help each other out. But some of the other stuff that I was asked about, I know I told you guys kind of what I eat in a day in another video, but like I said before, I seriously eat like the same couple things over and over again. And if my kids weren't just all over my house, I would just go show you my kitchen, but I'm not going to, because they're just laying everywhere. But I have a lot of meat. I keep a lot of lean beef. We have deer meat, which I don't eat. That's my husband's, but if you can stand it, that's a lot better than ground beef for you. I keep a lot of chicken, and lately I've fried up a lot of chicken in some olive oil and put like a ton of Cajun seasonings on it and a lot of spices and whatnot. And then I'd make like green beans or something and put the Cajun spices on that too. That's a really low calorie meal, and it's good for you, and you can eat quite a bit of it. And then, let's see, I keep a lot of English muffins. I think I said that before in a video, because I feel like those keep me pretty full and they taste really good. I just bought some sourdough ones. I'm getting wild. Let's see, I don't really do bagels and stuff because I think those are huge, and that's a lot of calories, and I don't even think they taste that good. Even though they're in my house. My husband and my kids eat them. Let's see. I do a lot of honeycomb cereal. It's kind of bland, but I feel like it at least offers something rather than the cereals that are like Trix and Fruity Pebbles where it's literally just sugar. So I try to eat cereal. I love Smart Start and that Special K Protein Plus, I think it's called, or something. Those cereals are really good, but they're kind of expensive, so that's kind of sucky. I eat a lot of the Cashews sweet and salty like granola bar things, and a lot of Belvita products. Like, I like everything that Belvita makes, so I eat those for lunch. Honestly, that's probably about it. Like, we make tacos and I make my like healthy version of it. The biggest thing isn't even what I eat, it's the portions that I eat. And if I showed you what I ate in the past week at, in Canada or whatever, you would look at me like I'm crazy because, like, for instance, before I left, I made my favorite meal, which is smoked sausage cooked over olive oil with peppers and onions in it, which isn't like horrible on its own. I mean, it's not the best meat for you, but it's not horrible. And I normally eat just like one spoonful over some white rice, but not this time. This time I got some hoagie rolls and I loaded them suckers up, and I mean two, not just one, two. I put one on my plate at first because I was like, I'm going to be good, I'm going to get one. And then I went back and got a second one. Like, I didn't know the whole time I was going to get a second one. So that was not a wise choice. And immediately when I was done, like, the guilt set in and the regret, and I just knew that this was stupid and I'm going to gain weight because of it. And I wasn't even that hungry. I just wanted to taste it. It was so stupid. And then on top of that, I still had Fritos chips with it, okay? And then afterwards, I'm pretty sure I ate something sweet because there's no way that I would have not ate something sweet afterwards. So that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that, like, it's just absurd to me. But it's all in the quantity. You can eat the same things that you eat the stuff that you like to eat that tastes good. You just can't eat it in the same quantities. Like, I have little kids' bowls all over my house because I have little kids. So I try to use those, or honestly, a lot of times I use a coffee mug, like, to eat my cereal, because usually a cup is a serving size or close to it. So I use a coffee mug instead of a bowl so that I don't overdo it. Anyway, so yeah, I don't have any kind of limits on what I'll even eat sweets and stuff. I have talked before about how I buy like the 5-pound bags of cookies and cream Hershey Kisses, and I can eat like 5 of those for like 100 calories. So you can do that kind of stuff too, and just eat clothes. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I forget what I was saying now. I looked down and saw my Canada shirt, and I forgot to tell you that it was my Canada shirt. And then I don't know what I was talking about. But, so anyways, you can eat the same foods that you enjoy. You just have to have moderation. And drink a ton of water. And I'm telling you, get those little flavor things, because, I mean, those things are addictive. My favorite is strawberry watermelon. Just a Kroger brand, like, water flavored squeezy things. And I have coffee every morning, too, with lots of creamer. So, I don't know. That's probably not super helpful to all of you that wanted advice on what to eat. And I'll actually tomorrow maybe like show you exactly what I am eating and tell you like what I weighed in the morning, what I weighed in the evening, and we'll go through my whole day, and we'll make that its own thing. But it's really not so much about what you eat. For me, it's always counting calories. That's always what I do, because I know that I lie to myself when I'm doing anything else. So I count calories with MyFitnessPal app. And I just, measure it all out. I don't let myself lie to myself about like, oh yeah, this is a cup, but it's in a giant mixing bowl of cereal or whatever. So, just be mindful of that kind of stuff. But I'll make a video about my whole routine in a day with eating, and maybe that'll be helpful. I don't really know. I feel like I'm being super unhelpful today. I just wanted to make an update video just to let everybody know that, like, even when you mess up and you take 2 steps forward, sometimes you take 1 step back, okay? So I've taken 1 step back. I still fit all my clothes, thankfully. I was a little bit worried when I went up on the scale that, like, man, all my skinny clothes now aren't going to fit, and I already got rid of all my big clothes, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do. But I'm fine. I think it's just bloating, and I'm going to get back on track right now. I'm not going to let it balloon out of control like it did before when I gained 30 pounds. So I wanted to make sure that I documented that part of my life too, that hey, when I mess up, I'm not just gonna crawl in a hole and give up. I'm going to get back at it, and hopefully have your guys' support to do that. So another thing that I was asked about is how I keep motivated. Well, for one, I I like to keep my skinny clothes around. I had said last time when I lost about 100 pounds, I went to a thrift store and I bought a skirt that was a size 8 that looked like it would fit over one thigh, if that. And I hung it in my bedroom and I looked at it constantly and I tried it on constantly. I also had a bridesmaid's dress that I bought at the time that was like 4 sizes too small. That was like a $150 dress that I hung up and looked at and tried on constantly. I have pictures and stuff of that. If I remember, I'll add it. And I could see when I tried it on like once a month or once a week even, that the zipper would get a little bit higher and I could fit in it a little bit better. And eventually I fit both of those and that was awesome. So I keep clothes around that I know won't fit me or that are my skinny clothes from before to help keep you motivated, because sometimes you can't see a difference on the scale and you can't even see a difference when you look at yourself, but clothes don't lie, okay? So I do that. I sign up for races. That's why I signed up for the inflatable race that ended up being a letdown, was because I wanted to have another race to get onto. So I'm going to probably need to do another one of those here soon if I want to continue my running, which I do. I get a lot on, well, you know what? I watch a lot of YouTube videos of other girls who have done it because it just encourages me to see somebody else who at least feels the same way that I do, that it's not easy and it is a struggle and it's not fun all the time and it's not about motivation, it's about determination. I saw a quote that said something about you won't always be motivated, you have to be determined, and that is absolutely true, because there are many more days that I wake up and I am not motivated to do these things, but I am determined to meet my goals. And so, sorry to say that it's not always about being motivated. You're not always going to want to do these things, and sometimes it sucks, but I promise you that after you do them, you always feel great. There are many times that I hate the idea of running and I don't want to do it, but then after I'm done, I'm like, I'm so glad I did this. I just feel so much better. You know, it's just how it works. So I'm sorry to say you won't always be motivated, but I can promise you, you will always be proud at the end of your workout or at the end of your day when you hit your diary entries are finished and see how you did and you did really good, and that will motivate you. So get a good week under your belt of doing things even though you don't want to, and after that point it'll come much more naturally and you'll be a lot more motivated to keep it going because you will have already seen progress, I promise you, in some way or another. Another thing is non-scale goals, because the scale does all kinds of crazy things, and so in addition to the clothes, you can, I like make things up as I go. I don't necessarily have goals that I've made, like a shorter time on a 5K or being able to hike uphill or, things like that. But just other stupid little things like when we went to Canada, one of my goals, this is so stupid. I used to not be able to fit in a hotel towel. I have one that I dry my hair on now. I mean, they're super tiny. It's hanging up because my hair is wet. I just used it. But I don't even remember where I got it. I might have taken it from a hotel before I was a Christian. So anyways. But they're real tiny. And I'm not sure if normal people ever even could fit in them. I just knew, someone's coming to my door. Sorry for another interruption. That was my neighbor. But I have like these frosted windows. And I just saw a silhouette run across and I thought, I better be on the offense there. I don't remember what I was talking about. Probably like non-scale goals or something like that. But anyway, did I finish my story about the towel and the hotel? I don't know if I did. Towel? My baby's in here now. Oh, my voice is going out. My baby's in here now folding towels, sorry. So if I didn't finish my story, sorry if I did and you have to hear it again, but I remember that the hotel towels did not fit around me and it was disturbing to view, even though I was the only one viewing it. Like they would go and then there'd be a big, like maybe I could get them to touch right here, like the ends, but then there was a big triangle that was like, what is getting dried? Seriously, like it wasn't covering a whole lot. And I remember when I lost quite a bit of weight, I went to a hotel for whatever reason, and I remember the first time one fit around me, like I might have cried. Like it was a big deal that I could fit in one hotel towel instead of using 3 to dry off. And so now, like I bought these huge oversized towels that I still use because they're fun and I like them, feeling like I'm wrapped up in a Snuggie when I get out of the shower. But I'm thankful now that I can use a normal sized towel and not feel like I'm still that the job's not getting done and I'm not dry. So that was one thing that was I wouldn't say a goal, maybe it was a non-scale victory more than a non-scale goal, but you got to find little things like that. Like find something in your life that you're just sick of right now. If you're like, just this, I can never tuck in my shirt. Okay, that was another thing that I was like, you know what? My goal is going to be that I'm going to get to a place where I can tuck in my stinking shirt. And so I did, and I wear my church clothes like that a lot now, where I wear skirts that are tucked in because it looks fancy. And so you look like you know what you're doing and you're put together, especially when you're 30 years old. You got to tuck stuff in because you have it out. People think you're trying to be a cool teenager, and you're not because you're old. So that was another one of my goals. So just little stuff like that. I'm going to probably end this video because I feel like I'm very much rambling on, and I'll probably make another video where I'm also rambling on. But I just wanted to, I don't know, I guess I just really wanted to interact with people again and just update and inform everybody about how life has been going and the struggles and the victories and everything else. And basically anybody who's stuck around this long has been following me for almost 6 months now, and at the end of this year I hope that all of us can comment together and just say that we've met all our goals and did an awesome job. And I like hearing from you guys too, and a lot of you that ran with me the days leading up to my Down syndrome race, and those that have just been encouraging to me just by saying that watching my videos has helped them, and those that have asked me questions and I've been able to interact with. It's just been a blessing to get to interact with everybody, even though I have no clue where you're all from or what you're all going through. I mean, some of you told me. It's just nice to know that there are other people out there that have the same struggles and things that I do, and that we can all help each other out and stuff. So anyways, that's your update for now. I will hopefully get to make my video about what I eat in a day and how I just generally do things. And then also hoping that I can get these 24 miles in by the end of June, but that's like 4 miles a day at this point, because it's creeping up fast. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll have to overcompensate in the next 6 months, since I undercompensated in these 6 months, but only by a little bit, so it's not too bad. I'm not going to give up just because I messed that part up, because it's by such a minuscule amount that I can still do it. So anyways, that's that. That's all I wanted to kind of update everybody on. Kenna, I like your towels.
Love them. They are your stuff.
That's all my towels, folded neatly for me to use. So, yeah. I'll see you guys later.